Sometimes your strength fails you. Sometimes you don't know what to do. Sometimes you feel separated from God, and you can't find a way out of the labyrinth of time. Sometimes, despite all the experience and knowledge, this wave causes a deep transformation process in which people turn themselves inside out. But special challenging situations also arise in other areas, such as economics and politics. This can cause a lot of pain and sadness. Your negative self-image is tackled and triggered, so that all of this can be set down in a new reset. When you find yourself in the middle of a very deep process, you suddenly discover an opening that leads to real reality, a reality that you have lost. This includes the illusion about the negative self-image. This shadow part arose because you could not be yourself. The real self was pushed aside and was hidden and left in a dark cellar of the void. In this void, you manifested the masks of illusion from pain and frustration. You might also feel lopsided or uncomfortable because you continue to shed what was and are not yet comfortable with what is becoming. It is like upgrading your computer software. Even though you soon adjust to the new capabilities, initially, an upgrade tends to feel unwieldy and uncomfortable. You are in the awkward stages of adjusting to your new being with all the ramifications such a leap into the new entails. The same is true for all who wish to evolve, so interactions are not as simple or loving as you expect. Encouraging feelings of loneliness, and if you live alone, you feel isolated even with your computers, books, nature, and television. You are in the 3D teen stage. No one understands me, and no one likes me. We would say that life has its twists and turns. All are learning or continuing to experience and learn here. Some believe they must move in a more radical yet exclusive manner to assist others. They see their way and thought process as the only one of merit and value. Some become lost in such delusionary thinking. Know that one way is not the exclusive way. Many alternate realities can get you to where you seek to go. So yes, travel your own path, but do not believe that others cannot reach their destination exclusively through what is believed to be the best or only way. This time leaves its mark on your soul, and it is imprinted on your heart. This time demands everything from you, and you often reach your limits. But this time promises you change and the new man bright and sublime, sprouting as the seed of the Creator. How close or far is this reality for you? How long do you have to wait, and where do you get the strength and energy for these tests? When will you reach the gates of knowledge and return to the luminous being? What can serve you, strengthen you, and support you when everyday life comes upon you? I am with you now to replenish your spiritual batteries. I am with you to strengthen your soul. I am with you to remember. The young child's freedom and imagination were compromised, causing an internal dilemma. Many masks were formed, usually out of survival in order to be accepted. You were put into a program of oppression at a young age, and your defenses were tackled. The rebel became the unruly child who did little at school. The ones who kept themselves very sweet and quiet ended up in a major adjustment and later became very stuck. Notice the invisible one. She didn't want to be seen and disappeared into the crowd. Where are they? The need of every child and every person is to receive love and recognition. Many masks were created because you were not understood as a child, and also because you often reacted differently in situations that arose. This was the starlight that opened up, but unfortunately this was not accepted. And a negative self-image emerged, often hidden behind a mask. Just as was true for the progression of inner security created with 3D aging. This shift from 3D adult to new you is a process. You have all the necessary inner workings. It is now a matter of adjusting to those inner shifts. Some of you will or have adjusted more rapidly than others, as was true when you were a teenager. So some of you seem very much like a new you adult, while others struggle to become more mature. So it is now. This is a short race, not of years or decades, but weeks and months. The earth does not have or need years to evolve. As was true when you were a teen trying to negotiate your entrance into adulthood. Since all are connected, reflect on how the death of another or many might benefit the whole. This would be difficult to do since this cannot be. Where there is a perceived self-benefit or benefit solely for self-gain, then there is not a benefit to all of mankind. Release the need to rationalize such acts and move from a space of love. Draw in love. Realize that love is the connecting element that has been missing here. In such occurrences, do you see how the occurrence would cease to be where love engaged initially? Seek love first so that other dynamics can come into play. This allows new options to come into view. Recognize love as an energy component that not only heals one's body, but it can also diminish and equalize the energy within a violent storm. It is truly a transformative catalyst, for it moves and grows in a good way all that comes into contact with it. It is what the world could use more of. Do you agree? You are often too unaware of the significance of your arrival on Earth. You often pay too little attention to the meaning of your life. You often get lost in everyday life and forget who you really are and what power you have. Your days are often full of activities, and you often don't know how to get out of this cycle. Gradually, sluggish energy fields settle over your aura and cloud your view of your own being and the reality around you. I am with you today to remind you of the practical application. The simplest and most effective tool of self-empowerment. You can and should always use this tool in the middle of everyday life. Where you are, where you have to be, where life demands you. In the silence of rejection, many other masks were formed. The mask of concealment of the truth created a blockage in the young consciousness. The more often the mask was presented, the greater and firmer this belief became. The outside world affected your mind and you had to bow down. Belief in the illusion and negative self-image arose, and eventually you forgot who you were. Some rebels rise but carry a great burden on their shoulders. They are not loved, rather caught in a lonely struggle. These waves of denial and disempowerment of the true self have been created in the child through many steps. Each step containing a deep sadness in which the negative self-image grew. The physical body reacted from a cramp and many were imprisoned. The forgotten starlight was hidden in a moralistic fairy tale, like a game to touch you in the heart again. Wake up. Granted, much of your time before transitioning seemed to be clearing. and your current feelings seem so similar. The difference is that your 3D clearings were about letting go of pieces of your former Earth lives that affected your transition. You have transitioned. Now, you are positioning and repositioning your new skills. An interest, a task that requires as much energy as your 3D teen shifts. So you feel as if you are in the midst of a never-ending adjustment. Forgetting everything you achieved and worrying that your joy will never return or appear. Like buyer's remorse after moving from one home to another with thoughts of, I knew where everything was in my former home. And now I can't find anything, and on and on. Comparing your former environment to the new environment that feels all wrong even though it better suits your needs. This love can change all within its path. It can fuel your body and quell a storm. Wouldn't you say that is an energy you might want to learn more about? Within this life, there is so much more that could assist the one or the other to have a better and happier life. Add ingredients that will improve what you have planted. Plant seeds for your future in this way. The older ones have a lot of life experience and wisdom, which should be embraced and respected. For parents and children with trauma, there is care that turns the tables. The care provider now becomes the wise parent with their own programming from a book. Very straightforward and limited. Light children are now being programmed again, and they are not understood. They can become very confused by this and become even more outside of themselves. The highly sensitive and gifted child in particular often falls victim to this. Independence training can have a very negative effect if it is imposed from outside. This must arise from the energy of the parent and the child. It is a kind of second birth. The child is separated from the parents and goes out into the wide world. Has he developed the right luggage to survive in this wilderness? Then the release will go smoothly.